So we don't have to worry about the 5 tons of plutonium coming out of that every year. And we have 1,000 tons of spent fuel coming out of the nuclear reactor every year. And we should have 7 more years before all the spent fuel pool will be filled up. What are we going to do after that? TEPCO is building another place to put spent fuel. That's probably going to last 4 or 5 years. So after 12 years, we have no place to put the spent fuel. So the nuclear reactor will be automatically shut down. So this nuclear policy is not making sense. And I've been trying to raise the issue in LDP, but I was the only one who was questioning about it. And 2 years ago, when I was running for the party president, my colleague told me that I cannot mention anything nuclear during the party president election. Once I'm elected as a party president, I'm free to say anything, but during the campaign, please don't mention anything about the nuclear policy. And that was a condition that they supported me, so I said fine. Now after the March 11, a lot of senior LDP members look at me, and you are right, there was an accident. And I said, well, I never talk about an accident for the last 15 years. I was talking about the nuclear fuel cycle, and the policy doesn't make sense. But I never talk about accident at the nuclear power plant. But almost everyone look at me, and you are right, there was an accident. So that means they never listen to what I've been saying. Kind of sad. So right now, even within LDP, those who were corrupted, bribed, or whatever you say, from the power company shutting up. Right after the March 11 accident, I heard a couple of members, senior members, spoke about, well, we have to simply build safer nuclear reactor. And I told them, well, why don't you say that in the public? They never did it. They should have. So right now there is a special committee set up within LDP, and we are debating what we're going to do with the nuclear power in this country. And those who's been very close to power companies are not really debating in an open forum. They are just trying to use their power to influence the chairman of the special committee, Mr. Ichita Yamamoto. Now we are debating the feed-in tariff to promote renewable energy in this country. We shut down in year 2000. We had a bill, the private members bill, and that's been blocked by the LDP leadership and TEPCO and METI. We should have done it just like Germany did in 2000. The Germany's renewable energy has been, I don't know, it grew so much. Our renewable energy is simply flat at 1% of whole power supply. Right now we are debating it, and we're going to debate this afternoon. But rumor says the LDP's alternative to the government bill is, well, we can have this feed-in tariff for next 5 years, and we will terminate. It just doesn't make sense. So there are some elements within LDP who still want to be close to power companies. I think it's time for LDP to leave power company and join with the general public and seriously present alternative to the energy policy. But a lot of LDP members probably think that people will forget in 3 to 5 years, and then we're going to start building the nuclear reactor again. I don't think that's going to happen. What I've been proposing for the last 15 years, since 1997, is, well, let's not add any more nuclear reactors, and let's simply terminate nuclear reactors after 40 years. If we implement those two policies by 2050, we have no nuclear reactors in this country. And the void need to be filled up by the renewable energy and the gas and energy saving. I'm hoping by 2050 we could probably reduce a third to 40% of power, the electricity that we are consuming can be reduced by technology without influencing everyone's life. We just could possibly simply save energy usage for 40%, and then we could increase a lot of renewable energy starting from the geothermal, wind power, and solar, and whatever. And if we have shortage, we just simply have to use a natural gas to fill the gap. That should be the consensus within LDP, except some close to the power companies. So if LDP can change the policy, I think DPJ will have to change the policy. I'm not optimistic about it because we know LDP has been receiving huge amount of money from power companies, and DPJ has been supported by the power companies' labor union. So both parties are very, very under the strong influence of the power companies. Can we break up from that vicious circle? That's the test we have to pass. And I love to come to this forum, Correspondents Club, because you are probably not under the typical influence. Every single media in Japan is probably paid and bought for by the power companies. When I go to the television station in Tokyo, they say, well, they understand TEPCO will probably not going to be buying more commercial time, but local TV stations still get a lot of offer from power companies other than TEPCO. So if the major key station in Tokyo criticizes the power company, then the local TV station won't get the advertisement from the other power companies. So the TV station need to be a little bit calm right now. And if you read the Japanese major newspapers, they don't really talk about it. They talk about it sometimes, but they flip-flop. There was a compensation scheme introduced by the government. That was a really strange scheme, and we never thought that is possible in a capitalistic country. There is a public company. The stock is traded openly in the market, and the government decides that it will not go down. That is not a capitalism, and we've been criticizing the government bill, and then when I turn around, everyone in the LDP except 4 members supported the bill. So, what kind of country is this? DPJ is going down further. Prime Minister Khan, his days being numbered, but I think that his days being numbered with 4 digits. So he's going to go on for many more days, unfortunately. But if you go talk to people on the street, they hate DPJ, but they still think LDP hasn't changed a bit, so they don't trust LDP. If DPJ is so unpopular, I think LDP's rating should jump up, but it stays flat. It's not which is higher. The question is which is lower. And why is that? Because LDP hasn't changed. When we lost the general election 2 years ago, I thought DPJ would rule the country for at least 10 years. DPJ will do all the reform that LDP couldn't have done, and they will probably be very popular and the economy will go up. So for LDP, it's going to be a very dark 10 years. But we could use those 10 years to get rid of the old people, and new generation could take over within LDP and be ready for next decade. What happened is DPJ was bad. I mean, it was worse than anyone can possibly expect. They say the politician will make decisions, but simply they are just taking orders from the bureaucrats. They don't really understand the economy, and they just don't know what the hell's going on. I don't think we could let them rule the country for 10 years. Japan's going to go down. It was very unfortunate for LDP because last year we didn't win the upper house election. I mean, DPJ got more votes than LDP in the last year, but we got the more seat. And that's why a lot of LDP members thought, well, we simply have to wait. It will swing back. And the moment to change the party disappeared. No, well, 2 years ago, everyone, even Mr. Mori, maybe I shouldn't mention his name, but even the real senior LDP member thought they have to change. LDP has to change. We are just at the edge of cliff. We have to change or we're just going to go down. But since last year, since last upper house election, they thought, well, we don't have to change. DPJ is so bad, it's going to come back. So let's stay on. And so LDP is supporting the typical compensation scheme by the government. I don't know what's going to happen to the energy policy. We could possibly agree to new policy, but a lot of people are still waiting to change that back. And there has been a child benefit debate for last, I don't know, a week or 10 days. I was really disappointed because the LDP leadership just pounding the table and just demanding that DPJ will take it back. Sure, that's fine, but then what's going to happen to this country? What kind of message is LDP giving to the young mothers or fathers? Are they, should they be making another child, or should they stop with one or two, or is the environment for child upbringing will be better? Then how? LDP should present whole package. All right, this is LDP plan. This is how we're going to do this, and child benefit will be changed into this because it's part of whole package, and this is it. We didn't do this. We just simply didn't like the child benefit, so we just asked DPJ to take it back, or we're not going to pass this bill in upper house. And if we don't pass this bill, Kang will stay. And if DPJ want to get rid of the Prime Minister, swallow our pill and get rid of the child benefit. And it might satisfy the leadership ego, but it got nothing to do with this country. It has nothing to do with the worries of the mother in this country, or nothing to do with the economy. Now we're talking about how we're going to finance the recovery of Tohoku region. I don't think we should raise tax for that because it's a one-time deal. I think we should find money sitting in special account in the budget because it's a one-time deal. But we need to deregulate the country. We need to have economy growing. If we cannot stimulate with a fiscal package, then we have to deregulate and ask market to grow itself. And we have been talking about a pension reform for so many years. The last time we had our major reform was 2004. That's been 7 years ago.